Ready for a deep dive? We're tackling model making today.
Whether you're brushing up for an interview or just curious about this hands-on career.
We're digging into RoleCatcher's resources.
Their career guide is awesome, and the sample interview questions, super helpful.
Plus, we'll look at how their AI tools can give you an edge.
So picture this. You're in an interview.
And the hiring manager says, walk me through creating a model from start to finish.
Classic question, right? RoleCatcher sees it all the time.
Makes you think, what are they really getting at?
It's all about how you think, how you approach a project, not just listing steps.
Showing you can plan things out.
Yeah, break a big project down into bite-sized pieces.
Without getting lost in the weeds, right?
Exactly. Don't be afraid to talk about the curveballs, too.
Like when a material doesn't behave.
Or you have to improvise a solution that's gold to a hiring manager. Problem-solving skills.
And get this, RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze job descriptions. Helps you tailor your answers to what they want to hear.
Like a cheat sheet, almost. But let's get back to the questions. Another one that stood out. How do you ensure accuracy and precision?
Makes sense. This field is all about the details, especially if you're making, say, an anatomical model. Accuracy is key.
Big time. Imagine a med student learning from a heart model that's off. Can't have that.
So your answer needs to show you're all about precision.
Do you double-check measurements? Any special tools or techniques?
That's what they want to know.
Specific examples that's memorable.
And speaking of standing out, RoleCatcher also mentioned, how do you stay updated on the latest model-making techniques? Why do you think that's important to them?
It shows you're passionate, always learning. This field's always changing.
So trying out new things, maybe even playing with 3D printing on your own time?
Shows you're invested, not just there for a paycheck, you know?
This is my career, not just a job. That's the vibe.
You got it. Enthusiasm goes a long way.
And I love that RoleCatcher doesn't just give you the sample questions. Their AI can give you feedback on your answers, too.
Like having a coach in your pocket. They analyze, point out areas to improve.
Okay, let's jump into another one RoleCatcher highlighted.
Okay, this one's all about your experience. RoleCatcher pulls this one out a lot. Can you give an example of a particularly challenging model you've created?
Ooh, I like this one. Story time.
For sure. But it's not just about describing the what, it's the how. Why was this one so tough?
Was it the material or the design itself?
Maybe a tight deadline.
Yeah, how'd you handle those hurdles?
New techniques, teamwork. This is where you really show off that problem solving, thinking outside the box.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can pinpoint which problem-solving skills to play up based on the job description. Super handy.
Right. Okay, ready for one that often throws people off.
Hit me.
Can you describe a time you had to make changes to a model based on feedback?
Oof, feedback. Always a little tricky. Everyone likes to think their work is perfect.
Naturally. But honesty, feedback is how we grow, right? Especially in a collaborative field like model making.
So it's not really about the actual revisions, more about how you handle critique.
Exactly. Did a client throw a last-minute curveball? Colleague spot a flaw in the design?
How'd you roll with it?
Yeah. Show you're open, you listen, you collaborate.
Team player, that's key.
100%. Okay, ready for a creativity test.
Bring it on.
Can you describe a time you had to work with unusual materials to make a model?
Resourcefulness. I bet experienced model makers have the best stories about this.
Oh, I'm sure. This is where you shine. Maybe you had to get scrappy to get a certain texture.
Use something totally unexpected, right?
Exactly. Shows you can think on your feet. You're not limited by the usual stuff.
And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you frame those stories in a way that clicks with each employer, highlighting the good stuff.
Exactly. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. This next question dives into how well you understand the field itself. All right, let's talk money. RoleCatcher calls this one out. What are your salary expectations?
Always a bit tricky, yeah. Totally. Especially when you're starting out. You want to be realistic, but you don't want to undervalue yourself either.
Right, you got to find that sweet spot. RoleCatcher's career guide really stresses doing your homework.
So like looking up salary ranges in your area for model makers.
Exactly. Factor in your experience level, what the job actually entails. Websites like, oh, what's that one called? Glassdoor. Yeah, they can give you a good baseline.
So you're not going in blind. But it's more than just numbers, isn't it?
100%. This is your moment to sell yourself. Don't just blurt out a number. Talk about what you bring to the table.
Your skills, your love for this stuff.
That you're dedicated to quality work. Make them see you're an investment.
I'm worth it. I like it. Okay, let's fast forward a bit. You nailed the interview, got the salary you wanted, landed the job. Now what?
Time to get your hands dirty. And RoleCatcher actually gives you a sneak peek in their career guide, the day in the life section.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. So what does a typical day look like for a model maker?
Well, it's hands-on, so lots of time in the workshop. You've got your tools, materials, designs.
Sounds pretty cool. What sorts of projects would a new model maker be working on?
Depends on where you land, really. RoleCatcher mentions all sorts. You could be making anatomical models, like for med schools,
Oh, wow.
or architectural models for architects and stuff.
So anything from a tiny heart to like a skyscraper.
Exactly. As you get more experience, you might find yourself specializing.
Finding your niche, that makes sense. Now, how about technology? I'm curious about that. How does RoleCatcher see that impacting things?
They're all about 3D printing. Game changer, they call it. Allows for amazing precision, opens up so many doors creatively.
It's like having a superpower.
Right. But here's the thing. RoleCatcher is clear that tech isn't replacing skilled model makers.
That's good to hear. There's still that human touch.
Absolutely. Creativity, problem solving, those are still essential.
It's that mix of old school skills with cutting edge tech. That's really cool.
It's a pretty awesome field.
Right.
And rewarding, too.
Definitely. Well, it's been amazing getting to dive into model making, seeing what goes into it, the creativity, the skills. And huge thanks to RoleCatcher for these resources, their guides, those sample interview questions, the AI tools. It's all super valuable for anyone thinking about this career.
For sure. Takes the stress out of job hunting, gives you that confidence.
So if you're ready to get creative, work with your hands, turn your passion into a career.
Yeah.
Check out model making. You might surprise yourself with what you can create. That's it for our deep dive today. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and never be afraid to make your ideas a reality.